the man who could never stop eating. This isn't a science fiction story. It was the real-life experience of Tarrare, a man whose appetite defied all logic. His story is one of the most bizarre and tragic in medical history. Today, we'll dive deep into the life of Tarrare, the man who could eat anything and everything but was never satisfied. Tarrare was born in 1772 in a poor farming family in rural France. From the moment he could chew, it was clear something was different about him. As a child, he could eat meals meant for 4 adults and still complain of hunger. His parents were astounded but also deeply concerned. As he grew older, his appetite only intensified, making it impossible for his family to keep up with his food demands. By the time Tarrare turned 17, his family had reached their breaking point. They simply couldn't afford to feed him anymore. With no other options, they cast him out of their home, forcing him to survive on the streets. Homeless and starving, Tarrare had to find a way to make a living, and he did it in the most bizarre way possible. Tarrare became a street performer, shocking audiences by eating anything they threw at him. Apples? No problem. Corks? Easy. Live animals? Absolutely. His ability to consume anything made him a spectacle. He was said to have such an elastic mouth that he could fit a dozen apples in at once. However, there was one problem. He smelled horrible. Even in a time when hygiene was poor, people couldn't stand to be near him due to his unbearable stench. In 1792, desperate for a stable food source, Tarrare enlisted in the French army. However, it wasn't enough to satisfy his hunger even when given quadruple rations. Eventually, he was admitted to a military hospital, where doctors became fascinated by his condition. They began a series of extreme experiments, including making him swallow a live eel whole. Tarrare, without hesitation, gulped it down as if it were nothing. His ability to swallow objects caught the attention of military officers who saw potential in him as a secret messenger. They made him swallow documents and smuggle them across enemy lines. Unfortunately, Tarrare's bizarre eating habits made him stand out. During a mission in Prussia, he was captured and imprisoned next to a latrine. He was tortured and held until he eventually retrieved the document. The Prussians, realizing the message was unimportant, let him go. By the time he was released, Tarrare's health had begun to deteriorate. His insatiable hunger persisted, but his body was failing. He returned to France, now suffering from extreme illness, possibly tuberculosis, though his extreme eating habits and poor health may have contributed to his early death. His condition worsened rapidly, and at just 26 years old, he passed away. When doctors conducted an autopsy, they found an abnormally large digestive system, confirming that his condition was unlike anything seen before. Tarrare's life remains one of the most bizarre medical mysteries in history. Was he cursed with an unquenchable hunger, or was he born with an extremely rare condition? His story is fascinating and tragic, leaving us to wonder what it would be like never to feel full. His condition remains a mystery, but modern doctors speculate he may have had hyperthyroidism, a damaged hypothalamus, or a rare metabolic disorder. Yes, reports suggest he ate stones, corks, live animals, and even baskets of apples in one sitting. There was no formal diagnosis at the time, but today's medical experts believe he suffered from polyphagia, a disorder characterized by excessive hunger. Though there have been other cases of extreme hunger disorders, none have been as bizarre or well documented as Tarrare's. Tarrare's story is unlike any other. He was a man who defied biology, suffering from an endless hunger that led to his downfall. His case remains one of the strangest in medical history. If you found this story fascinating, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share for more unbelievable historical tales.